Well, so this afternoon, there's likely to be a shortage of petroleum products in the coming days following escalating global challenges in the energy sector. It is revealed that the current fuel buffer in the country can only last for 6 weeks. Hence, the need and some hitches in the international market will have a full-blown effect on consumers here in Ghana. With National Chairperson of the General Transport, Petroleum and Chemical Workers Union, Bernard Owusu, tells Joy News that the government needs more money to address this challenge. He spoke to my colleague, Samuel Mbura.
As we speak now, if we don't take time, we might be experiencing petroleum shortage in the country because of this war that is coming from Ukraine and what you call Russia. Because most of our products are from this countries. So it's a very difficult situation for the country and at the same time for Ghanaians as well.
What are you doing locally to mitigate the situation?
The government, as we speak now, is currently, we have a buffer that can take care of 6 weeks reserves. But now, because of the impacts of the Ukraine and Russia, the prices is now at the higher side, and the products now buying 1 liter at 10 cedis and some pesos, even bringing 1 full tanker of petroleum product is not a joke. So the government need more money to ensure that they can support the BDCs and the fuel those who trade in fuel, to ensure that we get. There was this discussion that government will like to bring in product through the international traders, and which, if that comes through, then it's going to help us.
What is the current state of the fuel buffer?
Currently we have 6 weeks.
So after 6 weeks, if we are not able to restock, we may run out of fuel.
Definitely. And we have to even thank our stars that we are able to do that as a country, because other countries from the sub-regions are not able to do it, like Senegal, Kenya, and whatever have you. Because as we speak, now petroleum product is now a high demand commodity in the world. Everybody is looking for it. So if your price is not up to, then they will channel it to other countries. And Ghana, we are not in a we are all in the global village, whereby these commodities are things that we share.
So because of the challenge at hand, your buffer can last for only 6 weeks. That means that we should not expect any reduction in fuel prices anytime soon. Is that so?
It's not like the current situation that we find ourselves, but as a nation, that is what we have been able to do. And it's not easy to keep strategic reserves. It's not an easy thing. Buying such products and putting the product down and waiting for maybe an emergency before maybe you can push it into the system is not a joke.
So we are currently relying on the reserves. That's the situation now.
Not that we are relying on the reserves. We have the reserves. At the same time, we have products in from the BDCs and oil marketing companies coming through.
Well, so that's the latest update on our reserve. Joining us to help understand the global market and how it actually affects Ghana is a research analyst at the Institute for Energy Security, Fritz Moses. Thank you so much for your time here on The Pulse. So, it's such a gloomy picture for our industry really, in terms of petroleum and other energy-related matters. But how do we avert this imminent crisis?
Right. Thank you for having me. I think essentially what we need to understand is that certainly as an oil producing, a nation that uses oil products, petrol and diesel and all, we would be affected by whatever happens on the international market. And so, and of course, we are not a major player on the international level. So that's the reason why we will be affected. So we have this strategic reserve that we expect that BOS, which is the state, the Bulk Oil Storage Association company of the state, would be ensuring that we have. You look at the law and what is expected, that you have about 6 months of reserve for us to fall back on in terms of when we face 2 critical challenges. One is price shocks, and then 2 is the supply shocks. And so in the event where prices are rising on international markets exponentially, we would expect that the local reserve that most would have had would be released on the market to cushion a bit the prices that we would expect to rather reflect here. And also when we have some supply stocks like we are currently experiencing with the Russia 7 million barrels per day cut from the international market, then we can also fall on our local reserves. Of course, also, I mean, look at Ghana too, and it's only Tema port that we, products on the international market working through. And so whenever there's a situation like that affects the ability of Tema port to take in the products from the international market, we can still fall on the reserves. But the current revelation that we have just about 6 weeks, it's mind-boggling. I mean, we understand that we still don't have enough to maybe meet about 2 weeks consumption of produce has been reported by the Energy Commission in some of their reports that they've released.
And I guess the resultant effect is that consumers would have to brace up for more.
Certainly, what happens is that if you are unable to improve our local capacity to fall back on local reserves, then certainly whatever is happening on the international market would have a trickling down effect, and we cannot actually control it. And like we've seen, prices are rising, it's also rising locally, and government seems not to have any tangible effort, not to do any tangible effort to stabilize, and that's the situation we find ourselves in.
Well, Fritz Moses, but what can government do to avert the situation?
Well, after years, we've been calling over the past years that we need to have some national conversation on the financing and funding for petroleum reserves, because if we had that reserve existing in both tanks and all that, we wouldn't find ourselves in the current situation that we find. I mean, you look at countries like the USA, we all heard the news that they were releasing their strategic reserve.
Fritz, we're losing you intermittently.
Okay, is it better now?
Yes, that's better.
Great. So I was making an example that you look at countries like the US, they have millions of barrels of petroleum products that they can fall on when prices are skyrocketing on the international market. And that's what that was the intention behind our establishment, of course. But these financing issues majorly.
All right then.
Right. We believe that it would be important that some national conversation will be had on how to improve the financing business. And then from there we would see how best we can improve our reserves.
Right, we have to leave it here, but thank you so much, Fritz Moses. He is a research analyst working with the Institute of Energy Securities. Well,